In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an epic future bass lead. I'm also going to show you how you can process your lead after Serum, because that's a big part of sound design. And I'm also going to show you how you can make a catchy melody that fits your chords perfectly. If you got any other video suggestions, leave them in the comments below. With that said, let's get straight into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's all the melody notes I've used. You guys can copy these and follow along if you want to. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how I came up with these melody notes and how you can make a melody like this every time to fit your chords. Alright, so with that said, let's grab an instance of Serum. Now, just like the previous video of Super Saws that I showed you, one of these oscillators, oscillator A, is going to be a bit bigger and wider and have the body of the sound. And then the other one is going to be more narrow with those high-end harmonics of the sound. So first things first, let's come into Analog, Basic Shapes, select a sawtooth like this. To give it that body and width, we're going to bring this up to about 11 voices. The more voices, the more width it has. So then we're going to bring the detune down because I don't want it to be too wide. Bring the phase down and the random down a little bit just so we don't have any phasing issues. Now this is where it starts getting a little bit interesting, is if we click this button here, you can see all of these options. Bend minus is what we want to use, but I just want to give you a rundown of this quickly. If I lower this up, you can see how it minuses some of this section in here. If we go bend plus, you can see how it adds some of that section in there. So that's a good little reminder. If you look at all of these things here, you can see this one minuses, this one adds, so on. For this instance, we want minus and we want to go all the way to the top. For oscillator B, we can just turn this on, lower the level down, and that's it. This one sits in the middle, so we don't want to add any more unison. For the filter, if we click on miscellaneous and then click on sample and hold, you can see this really weird looking filter here. This is going to sound pretty glitched out right now. But there's a nice little sweet spot up in here that we can find to make it sound really crispy. You can hear it adds that crunch to the top end that I really like. So I'm going to lower the res down as well, and then I'm going to bring the drive up a little bit and make sure we lower the volume here so I don't blow your eardrums. Sounding awesome. Okay, so now over on the noise oscillator, what I want to do is I want to turn this noise oscillator on and just bring the level almost all the way down, and that'll do for that. Now if we come into the envelopes, it's time to start shaping the sound. So I want this sound to be quite punchy and quite attacky, so I'm going to leave the attack where it is. I'm just going to add a little bit of release, just so the tails don't stop abruptly. On envelope 2, I'm also going to bring this sustain all the way down and lower the decay probably down to about 150 milliseconds, something like that, because we're going to use this to automate our level here later on. For LFO 1, if we click on the basic sine shape, turn off BPM, and then lower this down to about 0.5, now we can grab this here and we can map this to the fine knob up here and lower it all the way down just to give it a few cents, maybe like 8 or 9. Do the same on oscillator 2, fine, 8 or 9. And then if we grab this envelope 2 as we mentioned earlier, put it onto the level, and probably bring it down to about here somewhere. Let's have a listen now. I'm going to bring this rate up a little bit just so we get a little bit more speed happening in our detuning. So that's sounding really good. It's time to jump into the effects. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is actually just add a filter. And then if we come into miscellaneous, flanges, PHS12 plus, and just leave everything else as it is. Then we can activate the compressor and lower the threshold a little bit. Give it a little bit of gain, like so, and then bring the mix down just so it doesn't crunch it too much. Okay, now we can grab a reverb, drag that up underneath the compressor. Going to bring the size all the way down, bring the decay down a little bit, bring the low cut all the way down, bring the spin up a little bit, and the spin depth up a little bit. We can also bring the mix up a little bit too. And then last but not least, we're going to add some delay, bring that up underneath the reverb, feedback down a little bit. We're going to change to 1/8 like so. We're also going to bring this EQ line down a little bit just so we're cutting off some of the lows and some of the highs. Activate ping pong, bring the mix down. You can hear it has a tiny little bit of delay there. Now if we come back into the oscillators, I forgot to turn this mono on. I forgot to activate legato, and I always want to trigger this to about, I don't know, about 130 milliseconds, something like that. So that way we can glide between notes. So the thing about sound design is it doesn't end with Serum. There's a whole bunch of other processing you can do to help that sound fit into your track better. So let's have a look at that. So one of the best ways to fit these leads into the rest of your song is by grabbing an EQ8 and creating space for everything else. So first off, we want to create space for all of our basses, and we want to create some space for our super saws and things like that. So in the bass here, I'm going to roll this off probably to about 200-ish, just roughly. On the number 3 here, I'm actually going to put a shelf like this, low shelf. And on number 4, I'm going to put a high cut like that. This is before the EQ. And after the EQ. You can hear it just blends in a lot better now. Now we can even make this better by adding some width to it. So in order to do this, drag a filter delay. Yours might look a little bit different to this. So if you want to copy these settings, do so. You can see how I've got all of these turned off except for the left and the right, and I've also got one side, the left set to 1 millisecond delay and the right set to 10 milliseconds delay, and a slight volume difference between the ears. What this does is it delays the ears just a little bit different, giving the perception of it being wide. So a really cool trick. I highly recommend you try this one out. So this is before. And after. Now you can hear the rest of the song has these wind ups in it. Now that is just an auto filter opening up as the synth progresses. So I'm going to copy this auto filter here and I'm going to paste it on this track. If we right click and go show automation, you can see my automation here. I actually want to lift this up a little bit so it winds in a little bit more. And what I also want to do is copy another one and paste it there. You can also hear that the end of these synths here have a nice wobble on them. And that is because of this auto pan. So I'm going to copy this auto pan. I'm also going to put it on this track here. Everything fits nice and cohesively. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how you can make perfect melodies from your chord progressions. So first things first, we actually have to click on our lead track here, and I know the scale is in a D minor, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pencil in the scale of D minor onto my MIDI clip. So D, now the minor scale is whole steps and half steps. So a whole step is 2 semitones, a half step is only 1 semitone. So whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. If we highlight all these, move them out of the clip, Control C to copy them, Shift up to move them up 1 octave, and then Control V to paste them. Now we have this D minor scale over 2 octaves. So now, if we come into our MIDI clip here, our chord progression, we highlight all these, we copy those as well, and we paste them into our lead MIDI clip. Let's raise this up. Now you can see our chords are a lot lower than our scale here, so I'm going to shift up the chords into that scale so I know that it's sitting in the right range, and then hit 0 to deactivate it. Now what we can do here is we can reactivate some of these notes and see what it sounds like with our chords. If you like it, you leave it and you move on to the next part. If you don't like it, you try some other ones. So I like the start of this, but the end is too low. So what I can do, there's no other notes in here that I can move this to. That's why we put these other notes here, so I can place this on any one of these notes. That doesn't sound right. That sounds really nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just bring this one down here, deactivate it, and just follow the step back up. No, I don't like that, so let's try something else. That sounds really good. I love that. And you can go through every one of these sections and do exactly the same thing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. If you have a question, leave it in the comments below. Or if you want a whole bunch of free stuff, you can visit my website at offthebeat.com.